Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The GCC Statistics Center confirms that the Sultanate succeeded in setting up programs for the economic diversification promotion. The Ministry of Housing allocates lands for commercial, residential, commercial and industrial schemes for small and medium enterprises. Coinciding with the Sultan's celebration of the 47th Glorious National Day, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed presides over the 25th Annual Exhibition for Fine Arts. And the wilayas and embassies of the Sultanate in brotherly and friendly countries celebrate the 47th Glorious National Day. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President General Michel Aoun of the Lebanese Republic on his country's independence anniversary. Economic diversification and investment of different economic prospects are reflected on the Sultan's economic performance, which resulted in the increase of non-oil sector's value. That was stressed by the GCC Statistics Center in its report on the occasion of the 47th National Day. Here's a report.
The GCC Statistics Center confirmed in a report on the occasion of the Sultanate's celebration of the 47th National Day that promoting the Omani economic diversification programs were within the most important features of the Sultanate's 2020 vision. The center pointed out that the Sultanate succeeded through its future vision in setting up programs for the economic diversification promotion via plans and approaches based on the necessity of investing the different economic potentials and prospects. That was reflected by the increase in the value of non-oil sectors in the gross domestic product at current prices, rising from $32 billion in 2010 to $49 billion in 2016. The GDP value at current prices has increased from $57 billion in 2010 to $67 billion in 2016 by 17%. In the field of upgrading and enhancing relations of commercial and economic cooperation between the Sultanate and the world, the commodity imports to the Sultanate in 2016 stood at $24 billion by an increase of 19% compared to 2010. The re-export of commodity had also increased by 7% in 2016 at a cost of $5.3 billion compared to $5 billion in 2010. The center illustrated that the sector of tourism gained remarkable attention, which reflects the Sultanate's desire to become an attractive touristic destination in the region. Statistics indicated that the touristic sector achieved growth in 2016 by 20% as the number of visitors reached 3.2 million. In the field of global competitiveness, the Sultanate obtained advanced positions in various global reports, including the first position on the level of Arab countries in some indicators such as business startup and cybersecurity.
The Ministry of Housing allocated 10% of the total area of approved plots in commercial, residential and industrial schemes for small and medium enterprises. This allocation is meant to accelerate the course of tasks and procedures related to planning and dividing schemes prepared by the consultancy offices assigned by the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development. The Joint Technical Committee of Urban Planning in its meeting has reviewed 167 topics regarding plots associated with investment and trade projects of economic feasibility and changing usages and increasing height in the governorates of Dhofar and South Al-Batna. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amir Al-Shakhsi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Housing. The Ministry of Tourism approved establishing 81 hotel facilities in various governorates of the Sultanate, which will provide around 5,200 rooms. Meanwhile, the ministry announced that the Omani Cave Exploration Team has discovered 3 new caves in the area of Hail al-Harim in the Wilaya of Dima Wata'in in the governorate of North Sharqiya. The 3 caves vary in terms of depth and area. One of the caves' depth was measured as 400 meters. The new discoveries indicate there is a possibility that new caves are yet to be explored in the eastern part of the Hajar Mountains and other mountains in Oman. The Sultanate hosts today the final episode of Stars of Sciences, the prominent Arab program in the field of sciences and innovation in its 9th season. The program, which is organized by the Oman Technology Fund in the Governorate of Muscat in cooperation with Qatar Foundation for Education, Science and Community Development, aims to support and encourage youth and entrepreneurs, namely those interested in sciences and technology. Another goal of this program is to adopt initiatives that aim to encourage innovation and creativity in addition to supporting small and medium projects. Still to come in our news bulletin. Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Radio and Television approves establishing a sector for technical operations and development of e-media sector. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Israel's parliament held a special session today to mark 40 years since the historic visit of Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. Sadat's 1977 addresses to the Knesset was credited with the paving a path for peace between the countries. 2 years later, Israel and Egypt signed a formal peace accord, and Israel withdrew from the Sinai Peninsula it had captured in the 1967 war. They have maintained quiet but close security ties since the Israel later made peace with Jordan. Sadat's visit came just 4 years after Israel and Egypt fought a bitter war that claimed thousands of casualties. Today's event in Jerusalem was attended by the Israeli Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and Hazem Khairat, the Egyptian ambassador to Israel. During his speech, Khairat called for the recognition of Palestinian rights and described efforts of unified Palestinian factions. Palestinian talks between the two rivals groups, Hamas and Fatah, are scheduled to open in Cairo today. Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri today left Paris to travel to Cairo for talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Lebanon was plunged into crisis earlier this month by the surprise resignation of Hariri. They recently traveled to France from Saudi Arabia, where he had made the announcement. Hariri's resignation was not been accepted by the President of Lebanon, so technically he remains Prime Minister. A Kremlin spokesman said that Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold a telephone conversation with the King of Saudi Arabia to inform him about the meeting with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Putin hosted Assad in his Black Sea residence in Sochi yesterday to talk about the need to move from military operations to the search for a political solution to Syria's conflict. The Kremlin said that another phone call is planned today with U.S. President Donald Trump, following a substantial talks between Putin brought Assad to meet Russian army commanders and officials, and both presidents thanked Russian armed forces for the efforts they put into the fight against what they described as terrorism in Syria. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang met with around 250 members of the Japan-China Economic Association at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing today. The joint delegation comprises this year of 3 Japanese business groups is on its annual visit to the Chinese capital. Li said this is perhaps the biggest delegation to come to China ever and hope there is a good result that sets you expect. He also noted that 2017 marks the 45th anniversary of the normalization of diplomatic relations between Japan and China, and next year in the 40th anniversary of the signing of the China-Japan Peace Treaty. Zimbabweans continued their protest today, pushing to oust President Robert Mugabe, an increasingly isolated figure who faces impeachment proceedings and more street demonstrations, even as he ignores calls to resign. While there is a widespread consensus that the 93-year-old president should step down after nearly 4 decades in power, Mugabe has refused. Protesters gathered outside the parliament today, urging Mugabe to step down. The country has known no other leader since independence from white minority rule in 1980. Zimbabwe's ruling party was set to begin impeachment proceedings against Mugabe, while a party official said government ministers have been instructed to boycott a cabinet meeting called by the president. Back to some more local news. The Omani fine artist Mohammed Al-Zajjali obtained the Grand Award in the competition held within the 25th Annual Exhibition for Fine Arts, which is being organized by the Omani Society for Fine Arts. The opening ceremony of the exhibition coincides with the Sultan's celebration of the 47th Glorious National Day and was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed. The exhibition, organized in the Governorate of Muscat, witnessed the participation of 60 fine artists from various governorates of the Sultanate. It included an interesting collection of 110 fine works divided between photographs, paintings, sculptures, ceramic, handicrafts, and graphics. The works embodied the Omani nature and lifestyle of Omanis. BIA hosted the first meeting for the International Solid Waste Association Working Group for Healthcare Waste in Muscat. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai.
BIA, Oman Environmental Services Holding Company, mandated with the legal status as the entity responsible for solid waste management in the Sultanate of Oman, hosts the first meeting for International Solid Waste Association Working Group for Healthcare Waste. Hosting this meeting comes as part of BIA's efforts towards positioning Oman as a reference for environmental excellence in the region. International Solid Waste Association, as an international body, advocates and aims to promote best waste management practices around the world through its various programs. It consists of many working groups that meet on regular basis to exchange knowledge between its members, addresses issues, and come up with solutions.
The main purpose of the ISWA group visiting to Oman is to exchange the information, to learning from each other, and also to select the best technology which is available in the current market for treating the healthcare waste.
Thank you for inviting me to Oman and to host the working group for ISWA here. We're having some really interesting discussions on technologies and the best technology and how best to treat healthcare waste and keep people safe. It's going to be a really interesting day.
BIA signed some time ago a memorandum of understanding and cooperation with the International Solid Waste Association. The MOU concerns the developing training program in the field of waste management in the Sultanate and the region, and the promotion of best practices in solid waste management.
The opportunities for Oman are fantastic. It's a growing area. It's an exciting area. Healthcare waste is a part of the developing of hospitals. So while you are encouraging investment into hospitals, you are developing hospitals and healthcare. The healthcare waste management is a big part of that, and I think the experiences that are going to be exchanged today are going to be very valuable for both parties.
This is a step towards the establishment of the Oman Environmental Center of Excellence and an initiative that BIA has been pushing for in collaboration with the public, private and academic sectors. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Sultan's embassies in brotherly and friendly countries celebrated the 47th Glorious National Day, where Their Excellencies the Sultan's ambassadors held reception ceremonies on this glorious occasion. In Riyadh, the Sultanate's embassy held a reception ceremony which was attended by His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Abdulaziz, Emir of Riyadh region, and His Excellency Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, Secretary General of the GCC Council, among many officials, heads of the Arab and foreign diplomatic missions and journalists. The welcoming party was led by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Hilal Al-Busaidi, Sultan's ambassador to Saudi Arabia. During the ceremony, the attendees also exchanged greetings on this delightful occasion and expressed their feelings of further progress and prosperity to the Omani people. They also hailed the accomplishment that carried out in each part of this dear country in various fields. Meanwhile, the Sultan's embassy in Kuwait held a reception ceremony led by His Excellency Dr. Adnan bin Ahmed Al-Ansari, Sultan's accredited ambassador to Kuwait. The ceremony was attended by a number of senior officials and personalities, in addition to members of the diplomatic corps of sisterly and friendly countries, as well as government officials. Attendees at the celebration presided good relations binding the two countries, cemented by the wise policy of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. It included various activities, presentations, documentaries that highlight this glorious occasion. Rejoicing the 47th Glorious National Day, Their Excellencies, the Sultan's ambassadors in Iran, Philippines and Indonesia held reception ceremonies on this glorious occasion. His Excellency Saud bin Ahmed Al-Barwani, Sultan's ambassador to Iran, received the well-wishers, officials, ministries, His Excellencies the Iranian Commerce Minister, and a number of intellectuals, military and civil personnel, and heads of diplomatic missions from brotherly and friendly countries. The ceremony included visual shows of the Sultan's achievements. While in Manila, the capital of Philippines, His Excellency Muntar bin Mahfoud Al-Muntari, Sultan's ambassador to the Philippines, held a reception ceremony attended by members of the diplomatic corps from friendly countries and a number of businessmen. The ceremony included visual shows on the Sultan's accomplishments and developments. The Sultan's embassy in Indonesia also held a reception ceremony where His Highness Sayyid Nizar bin Jalanda Al Said, Sultan's ambassador, welcomed government representatives of Indonesia who praised the progress of the Omani-Indonesian relationship. Meanwhile, His Excellency Sheikh Juma bin Hamdan Al Malik Al Shahi, Sultan's ambassador to Sri Lanka, hosted a reception ceremony on the occasion of the 47th Glorious National Day. It was attended by a number of official government units, in addition to heads of members of Arab and foreign diplomatic missions, members of a Sri Lankan parliament, businessmen and media people. Finally, the Sultan's consulate in Singapore also celebrated the 47th Glorious National Day through a reception ceremony which was attended by government officials from Singapore as well as members of the Omani community in Singapore, media people and businessmen. His Excellency Sheikh Zakaria bin Hamid As-Saadi, Consul General of the Sultanates to Singapore, led the welcoming party through which the attendees expressed their joy on the glorious occasion. The Sultan's embassy in Austria also held a reception ceremony which was hosted by His Excellency Dr. Badr bin Mohammed Al Hinai, Sultan's ambassador to Austria, who welcomed representatives of the Austrian government, members of the diplomatic mission and media men. The ceremony included presentations and documentaries which depicted the Sultan's civilization under His Majesty's reign. The attendees praised the good relations between the two countries and stressed on the significance of the development witnessed by Oman under the wise leadership of His Majesty. The Board of Directors of a Public Authority for Radio and Television, PART, approved establishing a technical operations sector for organizing the operation work in support of the authority's media sectors. It came in which meeting, which was headed by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harrasi, Chairman of the authority. The meeting discussed various works aspects in the authority to enhance the development of the PART in witnessing. The Board of Directors also reviewed a developing plan of the electronic media sector in the coming period, which aimed to develop the electronic stages in social media websites to prepare in line with the development that the electronic media witnessed. The Board of Directors recommended to enhance the financial sources in the PART and take necessary actions to augment them. The Sultanate is participating in the celebration of the World Television Day, which falls on 21st of November every year. To mark the occasion, the National Center for Statistics and Information issued a statistical report on a number of public and private television transmission hours, which amounted to 35,136 hours during 2016 at a rate of 96 hours per day. The programs varied between news, religious, cultural, education, youth, sports, children, recreational, art programs, and announcements. The data showed that the total government television transmission in 2016 was 8,784 hours and 24 hours a day for public channel Oman TV, the sports channel, the Oman Channel Direct and cultural channel, while the total private television transmission during the year amounted to 26,352 hours, 24 hours a day to Majan, Sanad and Al-Istiqama channels. The ceremonies on the occasion of the 47th Glorious National Day continue around the Sultanate, praising the accomplishments under the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai.
Celebrations continues throughout the Sultanate in various styles commemorating these glorious national days. A group of people, companies, staff and small and medium enterprises such as Khalij Muscat and the Top Gear have conducted this show of cars decorated with Omani flags and pictures of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, expressing their joy of this dear occasion to every Omani in this great land.
We youth have been given great attention by the government of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos Al-Ma'azzam. Happy National Day.
Happy National Day for Omanis and all.
We youth of Oman are very happy on this glorious day, and we thank the government of His Majesty the Sultan Qaboos, and Happy National Day.
All of these youth groups realized the great achievement that have been met during the blessed Renaissance and renewed their allegiance and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Celebrations of the 47th Glorious National Day continue around the Sultanate. On this occasion, in the governorate of Zahira, His Excellency the Wali of Ibri hosted a reception ceremony where the citizens hailed the accomplishment it's carried out in each part of this dear country, renewing their allegiance and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan. The attendees also exchanged congratulations to this delightful occasion, praying to Almighty Allah to bless His Majesty with great health and happiness. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of clouds over the northern parts of the coastal area of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be northeasterly to easterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The GCC Statistics Center confirms that the Sultan succeeded in setting up programs for the economic diversification promotion. The Ministry of Housing allocates lands for commercial, residential, commercial and industrial schemes for small and medium enterprises. Coinciding with the Sultan's celebrations of the 47th Glorious National Day, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said presides over the 25th Annual Exhibition for Fine Arts. And wilayas and embassies of the Sultanate in brotherly and friendly countries celebrate the 47th Glorious National Day. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.